In this video, what we're going to do is learn how to multiply decimals. So let's start with the problem 6.2 times 4. And just like any other multiplication problem, we can just multiply how we know. So let's start off by multiplying 2 and 4. That gives us 8. And then 6 and 4 gives us 24. And when you're doing normal multiplication, this is where you would be done. It would end right here. But since we have a decimal place, we have to account for that. So when multiplying decimals, you're going to add in a decimal to the product based on how many numbers are to the left of the decimal in each of the numbers being multiplied. So we can see here in the first number, 6.2, there is one number to, or I said left earlier, to the right of the decimal place. So we're going to go down here to the product and move one decimal, or we're going to move one number to the right of the decimal place. And our answer for this problem is 24.8. Now let's do the problem 3.51 or 51 hundredths times 8 times 8. And let's just start multiplying like we would any other regular number. So 1 times 8 is 8. 5 times 8 is 40, so we put a 0 here and carry the 4. And then 3 times 8 is 24, and then we have another 4 here, so that's 28. 28. And now let's count how many numbers are to the right of the decimal in each of the numbers. So we have, looks like we just have 1 and 2 here. So we just have 2 numbers here that are to the right of the decimal. So we look here, 0 and 8 are going to be behind the decimal. So our answer to this problem is 28.08 or 28 and 8 hundredths. Now we can do the problem 4.5 times 5.6 times 5.6. So even though there's a decimal and the number at the bottom, we're still just going to multiply like we normally would. So 6 times 5 is 30. So we put a 0 here and carry the 3. And then 6 times 4 is 24. Add this 3 is 27. 27. And then we're going to add a 0 here since we're moving a place to the left. And then 5 times 5 is 25. Let's mark this out. And then that was 25, so we're going to carry this 2. 4 times 5 is 20. Add the 2, that's 22. And now we're going to add the numbers just like we normally would. 0 and 0 is 0. 7 and 5 is 12, so 2, carry this 1. 2 plus 2 plus 1 is 5, and then the 2 here. And notice here that we have two numbers to the right of the decimal place. Even though they're in different numbers, together there are 2 of them, so we're going to move a decimal place. So the decimal would originally be here, so we're going to move it here, and then we need to move it another place. So it is going to be here. It's going to be here. That's the actual decimal. So our answer is 25.20 or just 25.2 since the decimal does not change the value when it's at the end of the number. Now we will do the problem 83.7 times 6.8 times 6.8. And let's just do this normally. Okay, so 7 times 8 is 56. Carry the 5. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 5 is 29. Carry this 2 here. And then 8 times 8 is 64, plus 2 is 66. And then we're going to move on to the next value. So we can ignore these, add the 0 since we're moving to the next digit place. 6 times 7 is 42. Carry this 4 over here. 3 times 6 is 18, plus this 4 will be 22. Carry this 2, and then 8 times 6 is 48, plus the 2 will be 50. And now we can add. So we have a 6 and a 0 here, that's 6. 2 and 9 is 11. 6 and 2 is 8, that's a 9. That's a 9. And then 6 and 0 is 6. And then 5. And then we will count the amount of digits that are to the right of the decimal place in the numbers. That's 1, 2. So we're going to put the decimal place 1, 2 digits over here. So our answer to this problem is 569 and 600, or 569 and 16 hundredths. Let's now do the problem 0. There's an implied 0 here. 4, 4, and then times 0.50. And really, you don't even need the 0 here, because what's going to end up happening, as you can see, it will be 0 times 4 is 0, and then 0 times 4 will be 0 again. So we don't necessarily need that, but I wrote that there just so that you can see that when we move on to the 5, we're going to have to annex a 0 here, add in a 0. And now we multiply. 5 times 4 is 20. Carry this 2. And then once again, 5 times 4 is 20, so this will be 22. That will be 22. And then we add. We will add here. And then 0. I'll change the colors to white real quick. It will be 0, 0, 2, 2. And now we're going to count up the numbers to the right of the decimal places. So we actually have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So our answer to this problem, we're going to have to move the decimal place 4 digits to the right, which will end us with 0.22. So that's our answer. 0.22, or 0 and 22 hundredths. And now we will do the problem 2.727 times 4.4. 4.4. And you may have noticed at this point that lining up the decimals does not matter when you're multiplying. Only when you're adding and subtracting decimals, you have to line up the decimals themselves. So we can do this problem. 7 times 4 is 28. Carry this 2. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 10 is, or 8 plus 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 7 and 4 again is 28, so that's 29. Carry the 2. That is 8, and then 10 again. And then we add a 0 here because we're moving digit places. We can ignore these numbers right here. 4 times 7, which really, there's a 4 here, so we could just copy this down, but I'll multiply again. So 4 times 7 is 28. Carry the 2. That's 10. That is 28. That's 29. Carry the 2. And that is 8 and 10 once again. And now we will add the numbers. So we have 8, 8, 9, 9, 1, 1. And then we're going to count the numbers to the right of the decimal places, which here looks like 1, 2, 3. And then right here is 4. So we're going to move the decimal place 4 places. So that'll be 1 place, 2 place, 3 place, and then 4 places. So our answer, pretty lengthy here, but it is 11.9988. 11.9988. And we are done.